East Lansing Public Schools is taking a second look at its curriculum and apologizing after a homework assignment on slavery is being criticized by parents.
I feel responsible that it ever got put in front of our kids. You know, we all as educators are responsible for every single thing that goes in front of our children, and the fact that it ended up in front of our kids is extremely disheartening, and we need to do better than that.
On February 19th, a social studies assignment on slavery was given to the 8th grade students at McDonald Middle School. The assignment asked students to imagine how they would feel as slaves in several different circumstances.
Asked them to look at, it was a artistic rendering of a slave, what you would assume to be a slave owner abusing a slave, and asked students to write about how it would feel to be that slave. Another one was an artistic rendering of what you assume to be a slave violently going after like the neck of a white man.
And asked students to imagine if they were one of the enslaved people and describe what would bring them to the point of fighting back. Superintendent of East Lansing Public Schools, Dory Lako, says the assignment was brought to their attention by some parents, and since then, others have spoken out. She says they have met with those parents, the principal, the 2 teachers involved, and the director of curriculum to discuss the issues with the assignment. They also sent out a letter back in early March.
We sent out to all of the 8th grade families to make them aware that this assignment had been issued, and that we were pulling it from the grade book. We pointed out to the families and made sure they knew that this assignment had been assigned and that we understood what was wrong with it.
We don't make any defense on this assignment. Like it's completely wrong, and we're not going to waste any time trying to defend it or talk about our intentions or any of those kind of things.
So how did this assignment slip through the cracks, and what's being done moving forward? Well, Glenn Mitchum, the Director of Curriculum Instruction and Assessment, says the assignment was created by Teachers Curriculum Institute and has been in their curriculum for a long time. It's even used at schools across the country.
You know, I can imagine a day before 2005 when this curriculum was released that somebody with maybe some good intentions was thinking like, hey, it would be a good thing to try to help kids, you know, really understand the atrocities of slavery, to try to get them to a place of trying to understand it at a personal level. But either there wasn't as much consciousness back then to understand like what that does to kids internally.
He says they are working hard in the district to have a higher level of consciousness around issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Kind of risen to the top, the need for new curriculum, you know, and so we know that that will be a focus area of ours, you know, moving forward into the next school year. We also need to and plan to include you know, Black and Brown parents or community members and students who can help give us input on adopting new curriculums.
She's working on an update to families and the community on what they have done so far.
We know this was a very grave error on our part, and that you know, we've apologized, but we wanted to take more action than that and make sure that we can put some things in place to ensure that assignments like this don't get utilized moving forward.
Reporting in your East Lansing neighborhood, I'm Tiana Jenkins.